Hello everybody, this is Toysareruss, and for this third-party figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at the Newage Legendary Heroes. This is their take on a Generation 1 cartoon-accurate dinobot snarl. So as you can see, we've got a couple of copies here, so we can have a quick look at them in both of their modes, help you decide how you want to display them. We're going to obviously do a comparison with the original Generation 1 toy. I've got one of the Newage dinobot here at the moment, so we can quickly have a look how he looks in displays with him. And I'll also show you all of the accessories and how they can be used in both modes. Now, as I start to move all of these away, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. And also to thank Shozy, because that's where these figures came from. And as you can see, they got them to me nice, quickly and safely. Right, what we're going to do first and foremost then, we're going to start off by looking at the packaging. And the packaging is, it's a brilliant, basically, it's a Diaclone ripoff. That's what the Diaclone packaging used to look like for these figures. And of course, they were Diaclone figures before they were actual Transformers. You've got actual product images there of both modes, and then on the back again you've got product images with other Newage figures, take on Swoop, Wheeljack and Ratchet. They also come packaged in a huge plastic bubble, which of course, because it's not Hasbro or Takara, they don't have to, I suppose, what's the word, abide by the same plastic rules as in the US. The instructions are as ever huge and in honesty not that great. However, you'll probably notice I've uploaded a separate tutorial video which hopefully will help you out. The figure itself though is fantastic, and I do always say this, to be honest, they do feel really robust. Now, a lot of the times, I'm dead honest, some of the transformation processes I think are just a little too much. This one isn't too bad, but the difference with this is these are what's known, I suppose, I think this was the first brand where they were sort of really dubbed mini masterpieces. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I've only been reviewing these just over a year. But the reason for that is, A, the articulation, what I'm about to show you, but B, in some of them, there's metal and die-cast parts. And this guy just feels like really weighty, really sort of sturdy, in all honesty. So let's just drop it down a little bit more. And let's have a look, as I say. So this is based on his cartoon appearance. So his head, you can see the detail there with the eyes. The head will spin all the way around. You can see it's on a mushroom peg, and it can look up and down as well. The shoulders come out to the side. You can move these out to the side as well, so you can spin the arm all the way around. You can swivel at the shoulder. Can you swivel at the bicep as well? No, just at the top of the shoulder. You've got the double bicep flexion. Now at the moment there's no fists there. That's because I've not put them on. As I say, this moves up and down on 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 points. 5 access points, or 5 articulation points, shall we say. Now, the only thing that's a little bit surprising for myself, unless I've got it completely wrong, but I don't think I have, is there's a bit of a gap there, and you don't tend to see gaps in Newage figures anywhere at all. The other cool thing that these figures all have, even for their side, is a genuine ab crunch, which you can see that's exactly what that is. There's the specific hinge for it inside there. So again, this is why they're sort of dubbed mini masterpiece. And again, along with the material that these are made of, the Magic Square Dinobots are made with what feels like to be much cheaper plastic, but they are about half the price of these ones, to be fair. You've got a waist swivel which will go all the way around, and you've got, this is the hip skirt, but the legs can kick all the way forwards, and the skirt at the back will move as well, and of course all the way to the side. So you can see again why they're dubbed this masterpiece, due to the articulation. There's a thigh cut, which is the same as a swivel. You've got a knee bend, and then you've got a huge range of motion for your ankle, tilt, rock, toe tuck, toe tap, absolutely everything. Now, the deco on it could be, I suppose, described as quite basic, but again, this is the this is the cartoon deco version of him, and I think there's at least five other versions of this figure out already, which again range from G2 to Shattered Glass to toy to comic, and indeed a clear version. So the reason why he's not got his fists on is because he doesn't come with them. So this is the huge bag of it. It's not, well, quite big a bag of accessories, shall we say. You've got 2 sets of hands, you've got a sword, you've got some open palm hands, which I'm not going to use just for now, but I am going to take these ones off the sprue. So this obviously means as well that you do have wrist articulation, which of course you can see because we're going to attach get the right hand, that will go in there, and of course you've now got wrist articulation, which again is one of them nice, I suppose, cool little features. I've also just noticed there that it says it's Newage 67, so they are really churning these figures out at a really fast rate. And that doesn't include, as I say, the 6 different decos of this guy. That's just basically saying that there's 67 New Age figures out already, which is crazy. Very quickly, I'm going to bring in their take on an Optimus Prime, also known as David, and their take on, I'm sorry guys, I've got to say, a Generation 1 Dinobot Slag. And again, this is based, the whole scale on this is based with how they appear in the cartoon. And again, my oracle on New Age figures, Pete, will comment on this as well. So to be fair, I think it does look pretty accurate. The Dinobots in the cartoon were much bigger than Optimus Prime, obviously. But with regards, I suppose, to some other figures, for people who've got no idea of the size of these are bigger than Deluxe. They're nowhere near as big as Voyager class. Voyager class figures, I know this is quite a big Voyager class figure. I suppose it depends, actually. Yeah, it depends on the level of articulation, but usually with New Age, they're in between core and what's the word I'm after, core and Deluxe. But because the Dinobots obviously have such a large on-screen presence, there's a Deluxe figure, and you can see, so there you are, it's pretty much a Deluxe size figure in this. And again, I suppose just to reiterate or prove that, there's a Voyager class Armada Starscream, who isn't actually one of the biggest Voyager figures. So there you go, these ones are coming in round about Deluxe class size. So there you go, that's how they look together. I'm sure you'll agree they do look good. What I also sort of like but don't like is, it's one of them weird things, is that they do come with different accessories. I've noticed that because I've reviewed their take on the other Dinobots up until this time, and depending on which variant you've got, for instance, the Shattered Glass versions have had different weapons compared to the cartoon ones, which is a little strange, because obviously when you think of the original Generation 1 figure, he had absolutely loads. So he came with a sword, a gun, and indeed a missile launcher. And to be fair, I've seen the colour images, in fact the product images of the toy decos. So if I was to be getting these and collecting these, I would probably be going for the toy decos. This one again has been very kindly lent to me by a subscriber for the video review, but you can see that even though these are classed as what's known as legend scale figures, they're much, well, not much bigger, but they are actually bigger than the G1 original self. Right, let's move these out of the way for a second, because that's the robot. Let's bring in the alternate mode, see if I can without breaking everything. Here is the alternate mode, and here is, let's first and foremost very quickly do the Generation 1, or I say Diaclone sized figure. They're quite big, as I say. So there's obviously, that's a Deluxe Generations figure. I'm going to bring the Snarl back in a second. In fact, this one's quite a big Deluxe. Of course, I'm trying to use more current figures at the moment, just because exactly that, they're the ones that you're seeing quite a lot of. But there is the original, and again, it's great that you've got this homage to these. So in fact, it's slightly bigger, isn't it? The toy, the G1 toy, is slightly bigger in dinosaur mode, but a bit smaller. It's clever how they do that with New Age. They tend to have you know, expanding parts, where they all sort of, it's really hard. What I'm trying to say is that they're smaller in alternate mode, but of course then they do expand out due to transformation processes. They make them taller. I was trying to make sense then, so apologies if it didn't come out how I wanted it to. Here's the tail, which of course doubles up at the back with its points of articulation, up all the way there, twist there, twist there. The legs will go all the way out to the sides. They do this, they did this mainly obviously for Sludge, because of that scene when he gets stomped or punched down, of course, by Devastator. But it's also good for this because you've got full articulation all the way around. You've got a knee bend all the way back, which you can see there. You've also got articulation in, of course, the toes, pressing backwards and forwards. There is no waist swivel, because that's all where the transformation process is. What I do like as well, though, it does split in half down the middle, which is a bit clever. Again, a bit like the original toy. And then, to be honest, because I got him fresh out of the box, I hadn't folded the toes out, so I'm going to do that for you now, which again means that you've got articulation all the way around there, out to the sides, knee, or well, hyperextending knees, that's going the wrong way, to be honest, and then the toes out at the front as well. There is also jaw articulation, so you can open the jaw, and if you open it far enough, you can now attach the huge fire blast, again to recreate them scenes from the cartoon. This is really stiff to get on, but that's, of course, it's a brand new figure, brand new part, hence why it's so difficult. And I'm sure you'd agree, to be fair, that does look really good. If I can, yes, you can lift the head up as well. Looks a little bit odd because there's a big gap there. But again, great. It is good that, again, it's a cartoon deco, so you can of course recreate scenes from the cartoon. So I do really like that, in honesty. With regards to this, the only negative thing I would say is perhaps all of this bit going on the inside of the shins, which is a bit strange because, again, with Grimlock, when they first did this, they then released sludge with some inner thigh, inner calf, whatever you want to call it, inside leg covers, and they've done pretty good jobs of making it clean up until this one. I'm guessing this, please, I say this is just a complete stab in the dark, but we now do know that this guy's going to be a combiner, and of course this is the 5th Dinobot released by Newage. So what I'm guessing is that they're going to have a 6th to make Volcanicus, and they're going to have another cover because it just looks too obvious. There's 3 big tabs there, so I'm thinking that, I know that they do sort of help tab together, etc., but I'm thinking that there's going to be another inner leg cover being released with another one of their figures. But to be honest, guys, there's nothing much more to say about these. As I say, although I don't really collect this toy line, can't get my words out tonight, I do appreciate how good they look and how clever they are for their size. You know, as I say, the articulation is off the charts. There's not many figures that have genuine ab crunches along with everything else, and again, just real sort of clean looking modes in both, exactly that, in both modes. So the only thing that's letting this down is that there. I'm not going to moan or go too much into the back there because I guess it's underneath, but everything else, you know, seems to tuck away. I'm sure you'll agree, really sort of neat. But there you go, that is all there is to say about this guy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think he's the best one yet? And I'll do some more detailed comparisons with the other ones because I'm going to borrow them back. Actually, very quickly, they are of course in a different league compared to these, but again, I think the cost of that is the cost of him, maybe thereabouts. So there you go, gives you an idea of the price difference. But in the meantime, it depends on it. I always say this, it depends on your budget, it depends on your size of what you want to collect. The beauty of it is that we've obviously got such a huge choice of what we can collect. So there you go, let me know what you think of him in the comments. Take care.